Yo, 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 what's poppin'? All my peeps. It is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back for another episode of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show in the Yardage Dreams, another Thursday night episode where we take no nights off. And I've been talking a lot about It's only me that I've said, but we can't have the show without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Hello. We got
Hello.
Bernard here. We got David. What's poppin', peeps?
Oh,
Sorry.
also, my internet is having trouble again. And so the other night when you were like, oh, I just did the local thing. It was almost midnight and my part was still not downloaded. So I know.
Damn.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to deal with the internet problems on these videos because I have no idea why it started happening all of a sudden. But
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of worried a little bit here as it is 7 o'clock and it's basically pitch black outside with lightning and thunder.
we're in monsoon season, so it's like we had so
on
much
top
wind.
of the heat. Oh
yeah, well, last night the wind broke one of our tree branches again. So like this tree is like it has like 3 branches left because of how many we've had to cut off from being broken. So
damn, that's insane.
Yeah, I know.
That's wild.
It's a silly looking tree now.
Trees down everywhere. I'm just hoping that nothing affects me here because I really, Sara, I just want to talk about wrestling today. Okay, it's been an eventful day in the life of Patty Pitts, driving all around the great state of Massachusetts, which I know via Twitter we're about in that season where you want to move back here. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it might be a little bit of an upgrade, weather-wise, not traffic-wise. I'm just sick of driving everywhere that takes 20 minutes.
I think that I would almost like embrace the driving because even though Boston driving scares me because of how aggressive people are, I grew up with that though, so like I'm kind of used to it. I'm not a driver like that though, so like people would hate me on the roads in Boston, but the driving in Arizona is atrocious and like terrifying because they are so bad, like so bad.
Like, I mean, erratic.
No, they just run red lights. We're like the leading state in the country of wrong way accidents on the fucking highway. Like it's embarrassing. Like it's just so embarrassing. And I get scared when I have to drive like on the highway, especially because people are so bad here. And I think part of it is because it's just transplants from all over the place. And then also licenses here are valid for like 30 years before you have to like go and get a different one. So old people, they're all over the road.
We had to take the license away from my grandpa and he didn't like it, but we have to. It's not the drivers here that I would complain about, honestly, because that's just kind of every state.
Yeah,
it's the pedestrians that really piss me off. The pedestrians that they're on their phones. They're just like, what's going on? And then you almost hit them.
Yeah.
And then you get the bikers that just don't follow anyone. And I don't mean, the bicicleta pedal bikes. I mean like the motorcycle and the other kind of motocross bikes that just go right in between the highway lanes. It pisses me off because I feel like I'm going to hit you every time.
You know what's crazy is here helmets are not required by law.
Oh,
so the amount of motorcyclists that I see driving around without a helmet on, I'm like, and you're driving insanely and you don't have a helmet, I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near you, please. Like,
yeah.
But anyway,
brutal.
I do miss. No, I would never try Florida.
I'm all set with Florida, Bernard.
Florida is good for Disney World, and that's about it.
That's it. Maybe the heat once or twice.
No, we went we used to go to Disney World every year when I lived in Massachusetts, like basically every single year for spring break. That's where we went. We went to Disney World. The last time that we went was we lived in Washington. So I think it was 2010, 2010, I
Okay.
think. And we went at the end of April, early May. It was the worst experience ever.
Oh,
Like, it was so hot. Immediately when you walked out the door, the humidity, like you were sweating immediately. It was so disgusting. I was like, how did I do this as a child? How was I like, yay, let's spend 30 hours
you
at
don't
Disney
care
today? Like,
because you
it's
don't
crazy.
care about the heat when you're a kid because you'll
You,
just find a way to get cool.
I
You don't
see
complain
that
about it.
through my nephew. Like, we would be outside and it's like 115 and he's like, "No, I want to stay outside." I'm like, "Your face is beet red. Like, you're sweating profusely. You are going to dehydrate. Get inside." And
This
it's
is
like,
for your health.
yeah, it's just like kids just don't understand. They don't have like any internal thermometer, you know?
They say the darndest things and they do the darndest things.
Mm.
That's for sure. And that's as I was saying before, it's been it's just a great time in wrestling, honestly. It's one of those times where thank God there's no football or hockey or basketball. You only got baseball because this is where, in my opinion, wrestling thrives the summer months. There's no, they can really, they get a lot more viewers. Uh, there's a lot more pay per views. Like, you have money. We had Money in the Bank. We have SummerSlam coming up, which we talk about today. And then on the other side, we have AEW All In, and and then Blood and Guts a week ago. They have their own stuff. Dynamite was last night, which I'll get into in a little bit. It's just both sides are firing on all cylinders, and it makes the decision, honestly, to stay home and not go out and be that, like, party pits that I used to be, and a lot easier. I'm dead serious.
I'm like,
What?
that was literally you last week. But okay.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's like in my past. It was like a totally like 5 days ago. It was so 5
Yeah,
days
but when
ago.
I went to Gillette Stadium, that is Patriot Pitts' home. We
Okay.
saw Luke Holmes. We saw David Andrews. I fell asleep on the train. Get this before we actually start wrestling talk, because this is hilarious. So I'm on the train, been up for 20 hours at this point. Keep in mind, because I get up at 4 a.m. on Saturdays. And I'm on the train. I pass out, and usually it's like, come on, get a hold of yourself. No, it's a good thing. I slept great. So I'm like, you know what? South Station's a mile from my friend's place. I'll pass out on their couch. Boom, bam, have a great one. They go, all right, we're going to Lincoln. I'm like, we're going to another bar? We were out till 2 a.m. I can't do that. The champ needs his
You're not
rest.
even 30.
Yes,
Put on your big boy pants. God.
I'm trying to. And we got another big weekend this weekend with Callie Will being home and golfing and stuff. So the champ's busy. And that's what I'm saying. I still make time for wrestling because it's
But
that
you can
damn
record
good.
on Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just making sure you're not gonna like
No,
leave me
I'm
hanging.
golfing in the morning, and then
All
I'll be
right.
around the afternoon.
I
I
already
will record.
scheduled I already scheduled the stream for Sunday, so
What time did you schedule the stream?
normal time.
Oh, then we'll be fine.
All right.
Oh, we'll be fine. It was
All
early,
right.
but yeah, no, because I want to talk. That's the thing. I want to talk wrestling. We have SmackDown tomorrow. That's going to be great. We had Raw that we already talked about in Sarah's archives. Sarah Marshall XO on YouTube. If you're watching there already, hit that subscribe button and comment below what is kind of peeving you, like what is peeving us to start the show, and we answer. So let's just kick off the show, Sarah, with I'm not getting you. This is my favorite. This is why I love the Thursday show, because I get to drop this one.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, Sarah. Be a rosebud. All lemons are evil. And you know what we do to lemons? We smoke them. Or evil. Oh, I screwed up that phrase. Damn it.
We smoke lemons here,
No,
bro.
I had the phrase. It's all lemons are evil, SpongeBob. And then what do you do to evil? We smoke it. Or we smoke them. Because we smoke like I've been practicing that
All
for a
right.
while and whatever. But moving on, Sarah, you talk because I've been royal rambling here. What was your Rosebud best thing you saw in all of wrestling this week?
Finn Balor. I have to say, Finn has been great recently, and I loved the segment of him at the end of Raw with the contract signing with him and Rollins. I loved his little promo. I loved the Judgment Day sneaking up around the ring. I loved everything about it. And I'm just very excited for SummerSlam. You know, someone posted, a wrestling account posted, like, what match are you most looking forward to of the 6 matches that have been announced? I feel like I was the only one that said Seth and Finn. But I'm like, come on now, guys. Come on. You're sleeping on this match. It's going to be so good. And I'm kind of nervous that I'm going to be disappointed because even though I love Seth, I love me some Finn Balor. So I really want Finn to win. And I feel like he's just, you know, I posted a video last week or earlier this week that Finn is doing his best work right now. So I'm just loving the Judgment Day thriving. I'm loving Finn Balor thriving. And so I was very, very excited for him this week.
The only thing you didn't mention about Finn that you loved, that I also loved, was his fit and his fits as of late. They've just been incredible lining up with all of Judgment Day. And it gives Finn a new look. It gives a different side to the Prince.
Well, and he was never like really dressed when he was just like normal outside of Judgment Day. You almost never saw him in actual clothing. He was always in the leather jacket and the trunks. It was like he never had real clothes on. Like he was always just ready to go. So yeah, that is a different aspect. It's definitely not how he dresses in real life too, which I like his dedication to the gimmick because he's not walking around looking like that at all. So I love it.
Did though. That would be
I know.
hilarious.
Can you imagine?
I would love running into Fergie Ferg at like Starbucks, him dressed like that. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
We have a comment here. All right, we'll get there.
Okay.
Rosebud of the week for me. All right, I'm going with my elite boys over in AEW with my Rosebud. I know I say that the Bloodline is the best story in wrestling.
Are you walking that back now?
No, God, no. That would be just asinine for me to say that. I'm saying there's a nice 2 spot right there. Maybe 1B for the real dedicated elite fans, not me. We're down the middle. But MJF Adam Cole might be the best story outside of Bloodline. It is just so well done how they're doing it, the way that they're building it, where Adam was not a fan of MJF, sprinkling a few segments, a blind eliminator tournament, and a chance to win AEW tag team titles against FTR, who MJF has a history with when they're in the Pinnacle. I just think the whole way about doing it, you need to put the belts on them. Like, just make them tag champs and then have them run show. FTR doesn't need them right now. You know, this seems like the titles need to be all in this storyline for it to fully connect. Like, you need to have them be tag champs, have a run for about a month or two, then building up, you build up that eventual split, even adding Roderick Strong into the mix. And the fact, like, he called him a default caw when he ran in to try to, hey, Adam's my friend and rah. And he's like, what are you doing, you default caw? Get out of here. Like, it's just so
they watched
well
the show. They watched the show.
Oh, they watched the show. Absolutely. And Roderick Strong being that kind of obsessive friend who essentially is, knows what's best for his best friend, his loved ones. There's so many different webs and twists and tangles with this stupid little feud that could have lasted maybe a month and a half to build up a pay-per-view and have a dream match has gone into being one of AEW's best storylines, feuds that it's ever since I've watched. And it was just, it's so good seeing that because yes, you have Roman as the WWE Undisputed, all of that. And he's, the all holier than thou, where MJF just seems like if anyone was WWE champion, like personality wise, like what would they do if they were champion? How could they be the biggest dick as a heel champion? And it's just, you
Mhm.
know, it's just so well done.
Good to know.
You should be, yeah, you should. They have an hour-long clip, Sarah. Because I know you're not.
I did watch one. I don't think I watched the whole thing though. I watched because something popped up on my YouTube and it was like when they were at a bar or something, and MJF
Yeah,
had a shirt and
yeah.
and then Adam said that he lost the shirt, and then he was like, "LOL, just kidding, I lied." I don't know. I watched some of it, but I don't know. I just wasn't super into it. So you know,
So good. Where is it? Because we got Dickie Martinez. He knows what I'm talking about. I think MJF and Adam Cole last 1 or 2 weeks left. Ooh, doesn't seem like a story that was meant to last long, but the fans got behind it. All right, I'm gonna throw a little 12-6 at your pitch. Sami Zayn was not supposed to be in the bloodline at all. RK Bro was only supposed to last 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 tops. Things change in wrestling, okay? And that's all about having a hand on the pulse of the fans. You know, the fans want it. They're outside of the bloodline and WWE stuff. It's probably the most talked about storyline in AEW right now, at least in somewhat wrestling as well. And I just don't think they've scratched the surface with what they can do. You can have Roderick and Adam Cole have a little bit of a feud. You can have Britt get into the mix as well and be like, no, he's using you. And then have MJF and Britt do a little like, you know, he's my best friend. Well, he's my boyfriend, future husband, blah, blah, blah. Like he's, you know, you can play that element into it. There's a lot you can do with it. And I would rather see that than just have a turn, build up a match or a pay-per-view, and then MJF moves on to his next opponent.
mm-hmm.
David agrees with me too. It has been absolutely magical, which, Sarah, it really has. I just, we'll get there. David says, I agree to a certain aspect, Pat, but with All Out being a month away, I agree. But what I feel like you could do MJF and Adam Cole tag team champs defending it at All Out, or All Out is a month away. All In is the one at Wembley. All Out, yeah, but then what's the next one after that? You could do it then. You know, there's just, I think Tony Khan is a little bit more. And yeah, you have Kyle O'Reilly returning from his injury. You know, like there's so many different, you know, pieces to the puzzle that I don't think have even been introduced
They're
yet.
gonna recreate the Undisputed Era.
Shock the system.
Oh my god, I saw someone posted a video of when Adam Cole turned on Finn. Imagine how good that group could have been.
That would have been lethal. That would have been an awesome one. A London show.
NXT Finn Balor was so good.
Oh, NXT Finn Balor was on another level.
You know what's crazy? Look at when Finn debuted in NXT. He was a bulky monster, and now he's so lean. It's like he looks like two different people. It's kind of crazy. Yeah,
he's evolved in a way. Like, I mean, not to the same aspect, but there are similarities with Walter Gunther. I mean, Walter and Gunther are two different people to me.
It's crazy, actually. It's insane. So yeah. Shout out Walter. I wish his name was Walter. Such a cool
I kind of like Gunther now. Jared Oria, Sarah, who is your favorite female wrestler in Impact and or AEW? I'll let you take this one.
I am not like a huge fan of either, but I really, of course, I love Mickie James. So I appreciate Mickie. I like Chelsea. Deonna Purrazzo is good too. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Impact, and I don't watch AEW like at all. Like, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I need to dabble. And it's funny, right? Because I posted a poll on the channel saying like, would you like to see some more AEW content on the channel? And I think it had like 30 votes, 50-50.
Really?
It's 50-50. And I was like, are you serious? Like, this does not help at all. I mean, I'm sure like talking about AEW in a live stream is fine, but it seems like, I mean, obviously it only got 30 votes, but
No, but it's still a decent
it's
sample
interesting to
size.
see how people are like, no, but I think that's how it is. It's just like some people are very dedicated to the one brand that they watch, that they don't really care to branch out. So it's not that I'm like not interested in Impact or AEW, but I have so much other stuff going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
I sometimes I don't even have time to watch SmackDown on Friday. I have to watch it the next day and try to fit it in. And it's like, I can't imagine trying to fit in Impact and AEW on top of everything else that I have going on, especially with football season coming up. It's a lot. So
Yeah, that's the tough thing with
yeah.
my wrestling viewing is yes, I can still be, obviously the dude who falls asleep on a train, but I have a full-time job that, that's a lot, especially what it is.
Yeah.
So, that's why we do this show so that we can get paid to make this our full-time job. I'll watch Impact. I'll wake up at 4 in the morning and watch Impact. I mean, I basically already did that when I was in 5th grade, waking up at 5 a.m. to watch Impact before school because I wanted to see what was going on with the King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett, and his whole little posse taking on the good guy. Some weeks it was
Mm-hmm.
AJ Styles, some weeks it was Christian Cage, some weeks it was Sting. And I woke up every morning or every Friday morning before school to watch it, and my friends did not. So, yeah, it is a dedication. It is a dedication that I would love to dedicate more time to, but let's make this my full-time job first, and then we can. So we talked a lot about the good, but Sarah, what is the bad? What evil are we smoking out today?
Well, as I just said, I don't watch AEW, but I am an active user on Twitter. So if I see good and bad that is going on in AEW, then usually I'll kind of like look into it and be like, oh, why is this trending? Or why are people talking about this? And I already saw that Richard mentioned Britt Baker and Taya Valkyrie's match last night, right? Last
Was
night.
last night. Yeah.
Um, and I mean, his question had to do with the fact that they zoomed in on a sign that said "Book the women's division better," which is a little. I'm like, what is this? What is this? And I've seen people complain about this for a while, but what I've seen a lot of, which is a little bit ironic in a way, is a lot of AEW fans have been complaining about the women's division for a while because I continuously see it. And it's just from looking on trends or looking at, I follow quite a few wrestling accounts and they'll post WWE and AEW. So I see them, either fishing for reactions or discussing something that is trending. And so I tend to see AEW things regardless if I want to or not. And this is something that I've seen quite a bit of, just like I've seen a lot of people express their disinterest in Saraya. I've seen a lot of people talking about it with Britt Baker. So I saw the end of that match and my gosh, girl, I felt for Taya, if I'm being honest, because you could just tell she was disappointed and irritated with the end of that and the fact that she just had to go with it because Britt was just a complete sloppy mess at the end. And I get it. I didn't watch the full match, so I can't say that that's how the entire match was. I just felt like it's possible it could have been just given Taya's reaction. But my main thing is just that, I've heard a lot about what Britt has been saying, especially in regard to Thunder Rosa and the drama there. And I just feel like Britt needs to just be a little bit of a nicer lady, especially if she's supposed to be, one of like the women pillars in the company. I think that she needs to be more of a girl's girl or a little bit more empathetic. She needs to be quiet a little bit more. And just stop being a bully. That's basically what it is. And don't talk about people bullying you when you're queen bully in the company. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just don't have any like real strong opinions about Britt Baker. I think she's fine. I think her
Well,
character is better than her in-ring ability.
Well, and that's fine, but then when you're speaking about other people's in-ring ability, girl, you need to be the best chick in the back for you to have that much of an opinion on what other girls are doing. Because then you see a match like what she did last night, and I'm like, people were saying, let's watch Britt blame Thunder Rosa for that. And it's like, yeah, exactly, because she wanted to say that Thunder Rosa was making her look bad. Girl, you're making Taya look bad. Like, it happens. It happens.
Ty Valkyrie is legit.
It's great.
I
Well, yeah.
I really think she's awesome in the ring.
Well, yeah. And I was really disappointed that she didn't get a better opportunity in WWE because I felt like, yeah, her potential was great. There's a reason why she's like a worldwide name. I mean, like, you know, I just think that you need to make sure that your shit doesn't stink before you start talking about someone else's pot. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really be sitting there talking about how one other girl is a mess up and she does this and she does that when this is the type of stuff that you're doing on a consistent enough basis for people to complain about your in-ring ability, if that makes sense.
I agree. I would agree with that. And David, it has been a mess for a while. It's just
that's why I'm saying it's ironic though, because people for a while were saying that the women's division over there was better than WWE. So it's kind of like interesting that it's like
it's flip flopped
a switch. Bit. Yeah.
They Tony Storm's a good champion. I think that Chris Statlander is a good TBS champion as of now. Let's get them some good opponents and get them in some good feuds. I think the Outcasts are fine and play a role. I don't think they need to be, well, they technically are in the title picture, but, you know, let's expand more than them. So, well, there was one comment I want to get here too, just because before we get into our, actually, no, we'll save that because I want to talk about my lemon of the week. All right. And it still has to do with AEW.
Oh, geez.
I don't care about Jack Perry. I don't care about him at all. I like that he's gone heel. I think it's good for him to do this, especially after being Jungle Boy for so long. And like, you know, boy, you know, it just felt like he was not taking that next step and pigeonholed a little bit where I just don't care. And going after Hook, you know, I will say I thought it was really kind of clever, the I Beat Hook shirt that he had on.
Mm-hmm.
And then to top this off, that I don't care, it's fine, put him on my screen every week, but why in the fuck do we have Jerry Lynn coming out to do a face-to-face with Jack Perry?
How old is Jerry Lynn?
Jerry Lynn is, I'm looking that up. All right, let's play some guesses here, Sarah. How old do we think Jerry Lynn is?
He's got to be in
his... What?
I was going to say like 50s at least, right?
I was going to go 61.
All right, I'll go with like 56.
56, okay.
I have no idea.
He's 61! 60!
Wow.
He's 60. Jerry Lynn is 60 years old.
I mean... You know, I think that he's just another one, like I've talked about it before, where Tony Khan just tries to get anybody that could like jump ship or like is like, oh my God, I can't believe they got this WCW legend, this ECW legend, this WWE legend over in AEW. You know, I think it's just one of those situations that is like, okay, we get it, Tony, we get it. Like,
and that's the other thing too, Richard, you bring up. That's a great point. Jack Perry's new music doesn't fit him, and I'm not excited for his interaction with Jerry Lynn. Here's the only way you can salvage it is if Jerry Lynn's like, I'm too old, but I know someone who can, put some respect on it or whatever. And it's, someone that the fans love. Boom, in. You did your job, Jerry.
Well, that's the thing is that no one would want to see a 60-year-old man. Like, I mean, and it's not even just because it's Jerry Lynn. People don't even want to watch Ric Flair have his 18th last retirement match. You know what I mean? Because it's like people respect Ric Flair. There's a lot of people who say he's the GOAT. He's my favorite all time. But like, he's too old. People just don't want to see 60, 70-year-old men getting in the ring because it's like, it's not entertaining. It's not.
I'll check out that comment. I'm okay with that though.
RVD going to AEW? Is that something that has he done that yet?
No, but him and Jerry Lynn are like that.
Yeah, but he was just in WWE. Could he do that? Is he under contract? Is he a legend?
I would be interested to see if RVD has legend status as a WWE in WWE. That's a good question. I'm gonna say no.
Well, just because he was there announcing for the draft, so that's what I'm saying. I just wonder if he has any sort of,
The only
I'm-
the only thing I think of is if he doesn't, because Eric Bischoff was there, and Eric
Mhm.
Bischoff definitely doesn't have status. So, yeah, it probably was a one-off, Richard. I would agree with that. But yeah, I just don't care, especially with how the rest of the show panned out. I mean, when you have Orange Cassidy kicking off Dynamite, it's going to be a good show. AKA, it's every week. And then you MJF stuff. You have the Blackpool Combat Club, and this just I
Claudio
feel like
Castagnoli.
he is legitimately the Swiss Superman. He is the closest thing we have to a superhero on this earth. Maybe
I
he's
mean,
the alien that they recovered, and they're gonna announce him. I don't know.
I would be down to marry him if he wants.
That
You
would
know,
I would absolutely support that. Let's get a member of
yeah.
the BCC here. Yeah, I'm all in on that. Sarah, I think we've talked a lot about AEW here. We've aired out our grievances that we did not air out on Raw. So let's talk about some fun stuff. It's summer.
Okay.
So you know what that means? It's Summer Slam season. How have you been getting ready for SummerSlam?
Well, it's funny because usually or it's around this time where I like reminisce about my SummerSlam trips and I get kind of sad because I don't do them anymore, but that's mostly because they moved out of LA after 2014. So, obviously I'm not able to just get there as easily as I used to. But I recently did upload the pictures and videos from my digital camera because, yes, kings and queens, I was using a digital camera back then.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, I have it right here. I have it right here.
Oh, let's
It's
see.
like still plugged in. I still have it. It's actually a really good one. And I'm like, it's the reason why I even used it when I went to SummerSlam in 2013 because the audio is so good. And you know how when you try to record
Really?
something at a concert or at a wrestling show, the audio can be horrific because of how loud it is. And that camera was perfect. So I always wanted to use it because I was like, I'm not gonna have to worry about some weird noise when you hear like a wrestler's music hit or whatever. So I was just reliving some of those moments on my camera because it's one of the years it's the only house show I've ever been to. I went to SummerSlam 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013. So I met a lot of wrestlers. I went to a lot of Raws, SmackDowns. Yeah, so I like to
Reliving the
just kind
glory
of
days.
like reminisce about, my traveling days.
It's a good time to get nostalgic and start
Yeah,
thinking about those
I wish
moments.
that they would come back to LA, but
Never say never. I mean, they just did get WrestleMania, so maybe let's let them cool off a little bit.
well, they didn't go to Staples though. Or I'm sorry, Crypto
It's
Arena.
no, well, it may not be crypto anymore because
Well,
crypto.
yeah,
No, it's not
they
crypto anymore.
what is it?
I don't know. I don't know what the new name is, but they got rid of
It's got
crypto.
it has to be Staples forever. Like no one's gonna refer to it as anything else.
Yeah,
So
I
it's like
still call
Heinz
it
Field
Staples.
is no longer Heinz Field. No one's calling it anything else. Let's be real.
No,
Stop.
no, they're not. They're not. It's always Science Field to me. Yeah, SummerSlam is one of my. I would say out of the big four, probably my third. Although, let's see if Survivor Series War Games takes that. That's actually good. But no, I love SummerSlam. It's one of my favorite parts of the summer. And I think the Miz said this on the This Is Awesome on Peacock. That every year he and his friends would have SummerSlam watch parties, and it was the last big party before you went back to school. That was where I went to my first wrestling pay-per-view ever. Honestly,
Mm.
I was
And then
actually
you were like
good shit.
so you never
verbatim,
yeah.
verbatim. Fourth grade Pitts said that as sentence verbatim.
And then your mom slapped you across the face and put a bar of soap in your mouth and said, "How dare you?"
She was
I'm just kidding.
swearing
You're
too.
from Boston. That
That's
would have
what
been
we
coming
do.
out of your mouth from age 2. Let's be real.
So at that pay-per-view, it was the fun fact that SummerSlam 06 is the last WWE pay-per-view to be TVMA.
Oh, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
So I rewatched it. I forget when, but if you go through that card, it's unbelievable. Hogan was there versus Randy Orton. Hogan's last match in WWE in Boston, historic. And then Edge, Cena,
Crazy.
DX versus the McMahons and their henchmen.
Oh, jeez.
And that's when they were getting their ass beat. And my buddy and I are talking, and all of a sudden, Flame Pyro comes up, and Kane comes in. I shit.
Terrifying.
Myself. I was
Yeah.
so scared. I was freaked out at that. But
Kane scared me as a child, so I don't blame
Kane
you.
is terrifying. Glenn Jacobs is even more of a monster. It's insane how the duality.
That is true. That is. Imagine being a terrifying person and your name is Glenn. Like, it seems like such a harmless name, but you're like, no, you're a demon in real life.
Demon Glenn.
Demon Glenn.
Yeah, SummerSlam's awesome. And I kind of want to do a little bit of history here, Sarah, because I like to inform the peeps on these shows. We have a lot of nice banter back and forth, but we gotta inform the peeps about what SummerSlam is, when it started, and it actually started in 1988. If you knew that,
a year before I was born. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am old. So
that's I'm not gonna say anything. You don't comment about a woman's age. As I've ever
you don't comment on an old woman's age? Is that what you just said?
No, you don't comment on a woman's age.
I heard you don't comment on an old woman's age.
I stuttered a little bit.
I think you said old woman's age.
I think you're hearing things you think you want to hear.
I think
you're just trying to do a little this. You're just doing a little this. You're just doing a little. You're stirring that pot up. Because I'm just trying to look up facts for our peeps tuning in here. There's a lot of info that I just really wanted to get, like the basic info. But yeah, it started in 88. It's actually it's one of the 5 biggest events. Interesting. Sarah, interesting. Did you know that we've included Money in the Bank in the Big 5?
No, I did not know that. I feel like, I get it, but I also don't know that I particularly like that because SummerSlam and Money in the Bank are so close to each other.
Me too. I don't like that at all.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
That's the ugly stepchild. Just sneak it in. That's what I think it is. The first one took place in New York, in Madison Square Garden. Interesting. Did not know that. And then, get this. This is crazy. So 2009 to 2014, SummerSlam took place in LA. Then for 3 or 4 years took place in Brooklyn, and then we're switching places. But for a while, it was in LA.
Yes, wow, they had like a 5 or 6 year contract with Staples.
That's crazy.
So that's why we went from 2010 to 2013, because 2010 to 2012, I came from Seattle. So like I said, flew from Seattle to Sacramento, went to shows around there the week before SummerSlam. Went down to Summers, drove down to LA for SummerSlam, and then would try to do the Raw and SmackDown afterwards. 2013, we drove from Seattle to Phoenix to move here in July, got here July 4th. A month later, I drove from Phoenix to LA to go to SummerSlam.
Wow, that's dedication.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah. It's not that long of a drive, though, thankfully. It's only like 6 hours or something.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brock Lesnar. I'm just looking up crazy stats right now. Brock Lesnar main evented 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8 of the last SummerSlams.
Well, I think that's why they were saying he should be Mr. SummerSlam.
And that's a good question. Who do you think? I'm going to put a banner up for clipping purposes here. Who do you think should be Mr. SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, I can't really argue with that, can I?
Yes, you can.
I don't really know. Like, I see, this is the type of stuff I don't know these kinds of things off the top of my head. Like,
Really? Oh,
I
I could just.
I don't sit there and rewatch Raw, SmackDown pay-per-views. So,
Oh, I love it. It's my favorite.
well, I'm not.
activity.
No, this is the thing. I don't want to be painted as someone who doesn't love it. I just don't have the time.
Oh
So,
wait, yeah, that's. I'm not saying. I know that we've established that. I'm just more. It's so fascinating to me, just like
but like, who
watching the
who else
back.
has been a mainstay of SummerSlam every
The
single
only
year?
person I can think of, I mean, would be. No, you're right though. Yeah. The only I don't know why Seth Rollins comes to mind because he's not in the main event of any of these. John Cena's in a lot of the it's just Brock Lesnar to me. He's been in every single one, essentially. I mean, his first one was in 02 when he defeated The Rock, the real people's champ, for the title. And then, I think when people say, is he Mr. SummerSlam? I just don't think it's an argument. I'm trying to think of one in my head to play devil's advocate, and I just can't.
Was he there for 2013? I don't think so.
2013. Let's take a
He
look at
wasn't.
that.
He wasn't the main event. Don't talk about the main event, but because
Oh,
it's one of my favorite moments. But he wasn't at 2013, right?
no, he was not.
He was at 2014 against
Oh,
Cena,
look at this.
I think.
No, he was at 2013.
Who against who? Cena?
CM Punk
No.
in a no disqualification
Oh.
match. Oh, this was right after. That's when right after Heyman turned on Punk.
Oh. Okay, but he didn't main event that one. I don't
No.
think. Yeah, no, I know who main evented that one. I want to talk about it.
I'll sit on it.
I have video of my reaction to that on my digital camera.
That's awesome.
I do, yeah.
Oh,
All you hear is
totally
I'll talk. I'll wait. I'll talk about
Are
it
you gonna
after.
play us the footage?
I
Or,
can.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil it anymore.
All right.
But yeah, history of it. Yeah, we did. I'll just go right into what our favorite moments are. I'll let you go in here.
All right.
What?
I'm trying to see if I can find the footage. I don't know if I would have to look through it.
Let me get some comments while you get that up. Grayson Wallace segment SummerSlam, like he did in Money in the Bank. Who should be his guest? He's been messaging The Rock a lot. If anything, maybe like the Randy Orton. Maybe you have LA Knight come out and try to put him in his place, set up something. I just do not.
Well, have you seen the rumors of LA Knight making an announcement on SmackDown?
Oh,
It's supposed to be happening tomorrow, and it is supposed to be pertaining to his status at SummerSlam. So some people are floating the idea of it being an open challenge. But we'll see. I don't know. Because he was also connected to Grayson Waller. So I don't know.
I would like that.
I'm gonna have to mute myself for a second.
Okay. Mute yourself. Do whatever you got to do. We don't look at. I've never been to a single WWE event in my life. Wow, Bernard, let me tell you. Okay, it is probably my favorite live show event, whatever, to go to over professional sports, simply for the fact that it's a combination of professional sports with the athleticism, combat. You have the entertainment element of it with characters and whatnot. It's basically a soap opera with the nonsense and, bickering storylines and all that drama that goes into it. And there's no other event that has the fan interaction like WWE events do. And I mean, I live in Boston. Every game is essentially sold out, if not close to it. You have diehard fans there, not just tourists from other cities going because the tickets are cheap. It's just, bro. I took the science guy, Sora, who we've had on here, and my Gillette Gazette co-host, which I'll be recording after this. And like his first reaction, he's like, dude, this is absolutely incredible. And then I brought him to Blood and Guts. And he was like, the next day or Friday, I mean, he came over and he's like, dude, I'm still thinking about that show. It was absolutely incredible. So the wrestling events are fucking awesome. You need to go to one. Okay, so you good here? Still muted. Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking for that. I can't find it.
All right. I'm trying to get some. Let me see more here. Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, David? How you doing? It's probably RVD was probably a one-off, I would say.
Mhm.
And then yesterday's main event of Dynamite felt unnecessary. It wasn't even a number one contenders match. Yeah. I don't know. Weird main event. I fell asleep halfway through, and I'm rewatching it as we speak, as we record this, to see if there's anything of importance that I should probably look at or whatnot that I haven't seen on social media, and I haven't really seen anything on social media about it. So, but yeah, that's all we got. So,
I'm really bothered that I can't find this.
all right. So, what is your favorite SummerSlam moment while we keep the train rolling?
Oh, well, I mean, this is just the one that I thought of immediately. It doesn't mean that it's like my all-time favorite one, but I was present. So, the SummerSlam 2013, Daniel Bryan wins the WWE Championship in a match with Triple H as the special guest referee. Then he's celebrating. There's confetti. Everyone's like, yes, yes, yes. And then Randy Orton, his music hits. He comes out. He's Mr. Money in the Bank. He starts coming towards the ring and makes it look like he's going to come in. And Daniel's like, don't you dare, you little slithering snake. And so he starts to walk away. And then Triple H pedigrees Daniel. So Randy turns around and he gives him the briefcase and he's like, thanks, man. And then he pins Daniel Bryan 1, 2, 3 and becomes WWE champion for the 7th time. And my sister and I wish I could find the video. My sister and I, all you can hear us saying is, oh my God. Oh my God. And we're like the only ones in the entire arena like cheering because we were big Randy fans.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny because other people are just like, no, oh my God, this is terrible. Poor Daniel. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was also
Poor
there
Daniel.
for the Ring of Fire match, which happened that year. So
Oh yes, that was the same. Oh my God.
I actually have video. You can't see it. I have video of it. For some reason, this one didn't upload. But I recorded it because it was like insane. Obviously, you never think that you're going to see a match like that. So, but yeah, crazy times. But I would say, yeah, those are some of my favorites because, yeah, I don't know. It's just what pops in my brain,
No, I agree. My favorite, I mean, the Kane coming out, that's just a legendary story of my first show. What was it? Oh, I had it and lost it. Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. Because I had it. Favorite SummerSlam moment. Cool stories, tell more. We're trying, bro. I got stories up the wazoo about all this stuff. The fire match was insane. I kind of got lost in looking up Wikipedia stuff here because the matches are just absolutely insane. I mean, do you remember Stephanie McMahon versus Brie Bella? Absolute
that was
banger.
not a good one. The only thing I remember from that whole thing is Nikki turning on her, the Triple H meme that people think is looking at her boobies, and Nikki being like, I wish you had died in the womb. I want to be like,
that
oh
was
my God.
egregious.
That needs to be put into the archives of how not to cut a heel promo. That's what that needs to be taught in schools across the country about bad acting and how not to play a bad guy. Because that's all I remember from that.
Yeah, that was fucking.
That was so bad. So bad.
I'm literally blanking on this and I'm really pissed off at myself because I had it locked and loaded and then I just got wrapped in a Wikipedia wormhole. All right, so this, and the thing is too, I've watched so many, like rewatched so many, that my favorites are more like I didn't watch it live, so I'm trying to think of like live reaction ones. Uh, I love personally the Rock Angle Triple H, that match. I know that it was kind of a clusterfuck with how it went down, with Angle legitimately being unconscious, and them having to just go with the match. Even though The Rock lost against Brock Lesnar at that SummerSlam, I thought that SummerSlam was really good. Shawn Michaels Triple H, the fact that Shawn Michaels came back after that much time out of the ring and put on the match that he did was absolutely incredible. And I think I was going to say my favorite moment and then realized it was not SummerSlam, it was Money in the Bank, when the Shield all won WWE title. So
Mm.
that got
I would
me
have to
thinking.
say one good one too is Cena versus Punk, the Summer of Punk and John Cena. That was a good SummerSlam. I was there also for that.
That
But
was a lucky you.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'll lead this here or end the conversation. Really, is where's the home of SummerSlam?
I mean, I don't know. People are probably going to say Madison Square Garden just because that's where it started, but I feel like it's just LA because when I think about SummerSlam, I think about summer and beaches and like summer weather and the fact that they were literally at summers they were in LA for 5-6 years for SummerSlam. To me it's like, okay, you just legitimized it as the home for SummerSlam, and they should have just tried to capitalize on that because LA is a good travel destination for people from all over the world, as opposed to like, why would someone, no offense, but why would someone out of the country want to fly to Detroit to go to SummerSlam? You know what I mean? Like, LA is a great place for them. Plus, they shut down the entire street next to Staples, and that was what Access was. It was on an entire street block. And it's like so accessible. There's so many hotels. And people can walk. They're bound to spend more money. Like it's good to have people outside because that would have worked for, during the COVID era. It's like there's just so many pros to it because I don't know, when you think of SummerSlam, I just feel like you think of summer. And when I think of summer, I don't think of places like Detroit. So
No,
I
you're
would
right.
have to say LA. But
I would go LA too, just because of it was already there for 5 years. Essentially everything you said. And that's a
it was so
one
fun.
time. That's the thing, in that you can make it into something where it's SummerSlam in LA. Doesn't have to be at the Staples Center. Maybe it's one year where you outgrow the Staples Center and then you move to SoFi, or you move to the Angels or Dodgers Stadium. Like, just make it a location so that you can do all that stuff. I don't think we've got there in wrestling where they've realized that, take a location and
Mm-hmm.
then just kind of expand. One year, make it at this place. Maybe the next year, you want to do something different and a different theme. Kind of like, what if they did like a Bash at the Beach type of thing for WCW, where remember, and more legit than that. But remember they had the sand with the palm trees and the
Mm-hmm.
entrance ramp, and instead of just putting sand in an arena on a ramp, why don't you go to a beach or do it outside a stadium and give it more of a feel. I just I feel like that would be a better idea
Well, and one
for
thing that
fans.
sucks too is like they don't do access anymore, really. So the
I
whole
know.
shutting down the side street it wouldn't be applicable anymore. But that was like one of the highlights of my wrestling experience, like going to shows and stuff, was always going to access because it wasn't just that you got to meet wrestlers and be outside and go to SummerSlam. It was also cool because you were around so many other wrestling fans. So you got to meet people that way. I mean, that's how I met my friend that I was going to these shows with. So that I feel like I do miss that aspect. And it's just, it's an easy place to have it in LA. Everything's there. The Staples Center is iconic. So it's not like it's just some random arena that you're choosing for the show. It's like people are very aware of what Staples is. I mean, the Lakers, hello. So, yeah, I think it would be a good idea to do it again, but I don't know if they really have any plans to have a contract, like a lengthy contract with an arena like that again. But
Yeah, I
I
don't know
think
if
they should consider it, especially because there's all this conversation about having Puerto Rico be the home of Backlash, right? Is it Backlash?
it is Backlash, but
Yeah. So it's like that would be cool. Like if that was going to be a thing, then why not do that for SummerSlam? Because it doesn't have to be like that for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is something that should travel around, and people will
yes,
travel
Sure.
thousands and thousands of miles to go to WrestleMania, no matter where it is. Even if it was in Antarctica, there would be thousands of people there. But SummerSlam, I feel like there should be a home for SummerSlam. It's another iconic pay-per-view in WWE history, so why not give it a home? A home. I don't know. I think it would be cool.
Give
And
it a
of course,
home.
I'm biased because I'd be able to go all the time if I wanted to.
I could technically too. I got a guest house at the old Pitt's residence on the West Coast, so
Oh,
I
that's
wouldn't have to
right. That's
pay.
right. Yeah.
Thank you. Pay your writers. All right, so let's wrap up the show. We got the 1, 2, 3 count. Sarah, to wrap things up here before I go talk about football, but we gotta go and talk about our main man. Happy birthday to Papa Paul Levesque, who we all know and love as Triple H. 54, Sarah.
I know.
54 years old.
That's crazy. And we're like, it's a year since he took over, I think, officially.
It's been a
So,
year.
and it's really crazy because I was just reflecting on the past year. Like we kind of dabbled and talked about it sporadically because we knew that the official day was coming up. But you kind of were talking about it earlier about how great wrestling is doing, especially in the summer. And I'm really interested to see how the rest of the year goes because at this point last year, it was very fresh for Triple H. He was thrown into this kind of unexpectedly, even though he had been kind of groomed for it. But he wasn't expecting to take over when he did. And now, I mean, looking at the past year, there's been a lot of highs and lows, but I would say obviously there's a reason why SmackDowns and Raws are selling out, why pay-per-views are selling out consistently. Like it's crazy because I remember when I was going to a lot of shows, I can't even tell you how many Raws and SmackDowns that I went to where there would be tons of sections of seats blocked off because they just didn't sell the tickets. And now when you watch a SmackDown, there's not a single section that's blocked off. Every single seat is filled. So I think a lot of that does have to do with Triple H. And so it is really cool to see how far he's come in this year. And I'm excited to see how the rest of the year goes because we're at this point now. It's not, we're kind of trying to figure out what is Triple H going to do and what is a Triple H run WWE going to be. He's not really trying to find his footing as much as he was a year ago. So, it's kind of cool. And what a great year for him, and for him now to be celebrating his birthday and getting WWE back into that upper echelon that it used to be.
It's getting to that point again.
Yeah.
I really feel it, and I wouldn't say that it's pop culture popular yet. As it was early on in the early 2000s, late 90s, all that, but we're getting there with the integration of different people going to different things, the belts that they give to pro sports when they win their own World Series or Super Bowl or trophy, whatever. And he just, if there was anyone that should be taking over WWE after Vince McMahon, it is Triple H. And he's going to be the one that gives the wrestlers that shouldn't have a chance. The guys like Gargano, Finn Balor, Carmelo Hayes, Kevin Owens, and then that's just men, but the whole women's division that he's
when we
giving
have to
credit.
say who Vince wouldn't give a chance to, because I wouldn't say that they shouldn't have a chance. It's who
That's
Vince
kind of what I
wouldn't
was
give a
alluding
chance.
to. They shouldn't in the WWE realm.
I'm just clarifying because
Thank
I'm
you.
like, no, that we don't dislike these people, but they are smaller and not the gigantic dudes that are like buff and strong and the typical type of wrestler that Vince was known to love. So
agreed.
Yeah. And I think that is a huge part of it. Like I just saw someone in the comments even said,
throw it up.
I gotta get back. Storylines that actually make sense. Yes, we're not doing the whole there's something that happened this week and next week we forgot about it. So yeah, I think that it's nice. It's a nice change. It's nice that we started doing this during this era because I think if we had been doing this, for the past 2 years or something, I don't know that we would have gotten to a point where we would still be wanting to talk about it by the time Triple H took over. So,
No, yeah, I agree.
there's plenty of things to criticize him about, but I think that he's also gotten us to a point to be excited. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many years I went and did not care about a SmackDown. And now sometimes I'm more excited about a SmackDown than I am a Raw. So that'll just tell you how far they've taken it. And I think a lot of that does have to do with Triple H. So
2. No Mercy has been announced. NXT September 30th. And here's the thing, I'm scrolling up right now because Dickie Martinez, we gotta give a little shout out to the peeps that know have comments. I can't find it. But yeah, there's been a lot here and I'm just whatever.
I
But
know we
Dickie
got a
didn't
lot of
mention it.
comments today.
We have a lot.
So.
Thank you so much. But yeah, No Mercy. NXT has been announced for September 30th. Yeah, that's cool that they announced the pay-per-view September 30th. I'm going to watch it. But his thing, that's why we're talking about it. They're bringing back the old names of older pay-per-views and giving it to NXT, not the main roster. Interesting, Sarah. Very interesting.
Yeah, I would say some of that is an influence of Shawn Michaels, obviously. I don't know if there's some sort of like not like legality, but I wonder if there's some sort of reason why they're not doing it for Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views. Especially because they're bringing back like Fastlane, and it's like, okay, we don't want Fastlane. Like, we want No Mercy. We want like those types of names back. So
we want Great Balls of Fire. Like,
no.
yes.
Capital Punishment. No, Great Balls of
What?
Fire.
Capital Punishment's not bad.
That isn't that bad, but that one was very niche because it was like, oh, it's in DC or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like it was very much where it was happening. It's kind of like Clash at the Castle. It's kind of like that can't happen every single year because it wouldn't make sense. There's not castles everywhere. So I would like to, I mean, it's cool for NXT to be getting this kind of stuff back, but I wish that it was on the main roster because immediately when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this brings me back to my childhood because one of my favorite games is WWF No Mercy on N64. So
That game was
like,
incredible.
man, you guys are lucky down there.
They're so lucky. They just, and it's
because
good.
then they have the Great American Bash happening and No Mercy now. They just get all the cool ones.
Did you hear that Cody Rhodes might be doing a little voiceover
for Great American Bash? I love that. I'm just like he even talked about it in his interview. I told you I watched the one with Chris Van Vliet, and he kind of talked about Dusty because Chris asked him how he felt about Dusty becoming such a central part in his storyline with Roman Reigns. And he said that he was fine with it because for so long he was trying to stay away from it and now he's leading into it. And so I love to see these types of things happen for him because I think that is why his career has become what it is because he wasn't trying to avoid being the second generation guy. Now he's leaning into it and then look at what's happening. So.
You got to lean into it. If it's there and people are going to make light of it, make it your own. And that's what he's doing. Like, it's your family. It's not something you did and you're trying to escape from. Like, it's part of who you are, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. So lean into that skid. You know what I mean? And I love that they're going to do something for him, especially with that pay-per-view being where Dusty won his third and final, I'm pretty sure, NWA title against Ric Flair. So, that's a real special moment too. And then this question just been on Twitter, and I wanted to ask you this, and I wanted to actually just bring this up on the show because I wanted to tweet my thoughts, but I didn't have one. And Sarah, I'm gonna kind of call you a little bit because you said mine without realizing it. Mine was is the Randy Orton
Oh,
heel turn. I did
mm,
not expect that in the least. And it might have been situational since all my friends were over watching it and then they had to go home for whatever reason. And I ended up watching that match alone. So my reaction was as genuine as you could get. There just has that one just to this day, just like, whoa. The Seth Rollins on the Shield, I think, is one that still to this day, I'm like, wow, I did not see that coming
I think it was the
whatsoever.
timing of that one more so than it happening. You know what I mean? I think it was like
Yeah.
you knew that there was going to be some sort of eventual split, but you didn't know who it was going to be. And I think it wasn't expected for that time, at that moment.
There's always a plan B.
Okay.
Boom. It just
One of mine is, and I just think it's overall it's weird, is R-Truth. R-Truth having a heel turn legitimately shocked me because like he had never been a heel. Like he went from like K Quick into R-Truth, and it was just like,
we get rowdy.
Yeah, I mean, he was always like the happy-go-lucky, dancing, rapping guy, interacting with the audience. Like, yeah, like he was just the fun guy. And so when he then started having that heel turn and feuding with little Jimmy and then John Cena at Capital Punishment, which I believe I was at that pay-per-view. So yeah, I think that when you think back, like when I was looking at this and being like, okay, who was I shocked about? I'm like, R-Truth is one that I'm like, that's crazy to think about that he was ever a bad guy.
He just doesn't give off that vibe at all.
No, not at all. So yeah, no, that one is one that I enjoy kind of looking back on because like he was a good bad guy for him. Like it's not like he wasn't hateable necessarily because he's so entertaining just naturally that it was like kind of hard to get mad at him for, like he was mad at John Cena for being like this huge over the top fan favorite, and he's just like ripping up the merch stands and like throwing cups, and it's like, throwing water on a invisible child. Like I can't hate you. Like this is so weird, but it's entertaining. So
the Daniel Bryan one against AJ Styles was weird. I saw that one. A lot of what I'm seeing too. Dakota Kai in NXT. I won't say that was one that because I wasn't tuned in at that time. In the black and gold era, if you want to, yeah, that was black and gold. Yeah, that was like the tail end of it. But there's so many. I just like. I'm gonna think of one. I wanted to tweet my thought with a video, but Hogan joining NWO and the fans throwing drinks in the ring, I would say that absolutely.
I need that clip. I need that clip of when someone's drink landed on Scott Hall and he just like goes into the camera and like fixes his hair. I need the clip for that because that is like, I'm sorry, it's like it reminds me of the clip of Kobe when the guy's trying to scare him with the basketball like at his face and Kobe just stands there. That's like one of those moments like with Scott Hall, he's like, I don't give a fuck, and then he just fixes his hair, and I was like, yes, daddy. That's one of my favorites.
That one is iconic.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one and lost it again.
Nathaniel says that his is Edge turning on AJ Styles.
Okay. I don't hate that one. Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan. That was a hilarious one. No one saw him come out of nowhere.
Noah says he wants to see LA Knight at SummerSlam. I just had to make
sure.
Me too, man. Same.
Fucking too.
Me too. Oh my god. This is why I'm looking forward to SmackDown. The only reason I'm looking forward to SmackDown ever is LA Knight. My boy is pretty deadly, and then whatever's going on with the Bloodline. But like, I just want to see LA Knight. That's all I care about. Like, I'm excited, and his videos do the best on our channel. So
yeah, shout out the Yeah Movement.
I know. Shout out.
We gotta have him on. I just want to.
know.
Here's the thing. I just want to talk about LA Knight for like an hour.
I know. Can we talk about that? Like, I'm sure he'd be down. So
let me talk to you.
We'll get excited. I will.
I will get excited.
I will.
Where is it? There it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. See, like, and we're OG fans of LA Knight. It's been a long time. that we've been like, we love
Oh,
LA Knight. So
I was a fan of him when he was Maximum Male Models, but only because I was exposed to him and then did some deeper digging. And
I was a fan because I was like, this is a hot guy. This man is hot. He should be a model. He shouldn't be a model scout. He should be the model.
this man is hot. He should not be a model.
He should
Talk
be
about your
not.
oxymorons.
I said he should not be a model scout.
Oh,
He should be
you
a
cut
model
out.
because that was
You
it's
little
because he
internet
was
cut
supposed
out.
to be like the model scout, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, he should be a model.
No, that should be like a Simon Dean, Rico type of role, and you're gonna waste it on, I would say, the most electrifying man in wrestling today.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
He's got that vibe. We love it.
We love it. That's a good place to end the show here. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for tuning in to this edition of Pitts and Sarah's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. Tune in every week, Thursdays. And then we
Tuesday,
get
Thursday, Saturday, usually.
Sunday. We're a little busy this Saturday with a work event. Like it's work. So can't get out of that. So then we'll be back on Sunday night. And then we have our Tuesday Raw Rewind. So be on the lookout for all that content. The only way you will find that is on Sarah's YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below. And not only leave a comment below, but go check the link in the description below for all our social media, because that's a lot of accounts. I got to go run talk about football on the Stadium Rant YouTube channel. Go check that out where I talk about football. And check out Sarah's football content on musketfire.com where she's crushing it as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember, you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you on Sunday. Yeah.